All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Honey Pop. Today, we are talking with Olivia. We got to chat to her back in 2020 when she released her EP. And now we get to talk to her 2 years later, which is super exciting. She just recently released Vibe Check, and it features Bhad Bhabie. It is a summer bop. I think it's going to be played everywhere. It's a really good, chill song, and we are so excited to get to talk to her about it and get the lowdown on the process behind the song and how she wrote it and how the feature even came to be. So let's just get into it. So hello, welcome back to the Honey Pop.
Thank you so much for having me again. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be chatting today.
Yay. Okay, so we've got to talk to you back in 2020 about your debut EP. Can you give us like a quick snapshot of kind of your life since then?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that was already a year ago now. Time's going so quickly, but I've gotten to play so many live shows. I went on my first kind of debut tour in the US, and I've just been writing tons of music, playing lots of shows, and obviously really excited to share this new song, Vibe Check.
Yay. So you mentioned that you just you went on a tour. What was kind of your standout moment or favorite moment from tour?
That's so hard. I mean, I've actually never played any shows in the US. So I got to play a bunch of US colleges, and I actually didn't go to university or college myself. I kind of went right into music. So it's just really cool to experience, the college lifestyle, and I got some cool hoodies, and it was just fun to kind of be in that moment, but also get to play music at the same time. It was really cool.
Oh, for sure. That's a lot. I think that's a lot of fun. And because you hadn't gotten to be in the US, you got to kind of see the US as a whole,
Yeah,
even though it was only on college campuses, but it's still like you got the US experience, I think.
100%. Yeah, of course.
So, for the reason why we're here today, you just recently released your song Vibe Check and it featured Bhad Bhabie. What can you tell us about the writing process for the track?
Yeah, so I wrote this song with my longtime collaborator, AJ Healy, and we were in a session as usual, and we were writing and got sidetracked also as usual, and we found ourselves Googling Gen Z slang words because we were just talking about trend cycles and, Gen Z and just how things are moving so quickly. And if you don't kind of try to keep up, it's like you're in a different world I'm only 23, but even now I'm like, I'm getting old. So we found the word vibe check, and when we went to revisit the song we were writing, it kind of made its way into the chorus, and it made for a really kind of fun, upbeat, I guess, trendy song. And then AJ and I were talking, and we felt that a feature would really suit the song well, especially a female feature, because it's a really positive, fun, kind of empowering song. And I was scrolling on TikTok and was reintroduced to Bhad Bhabie, and we reached out, and now it's out.
No, I love that because it's a very fun, like summer vibe, which also vibe is in the song. So like it kind of works. But I was
No
like, it
pun
is,
intended.
yeah, I was like, it's a bop. Like I think it's and Bad Baby being featured, I think it fits. I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of works.
I'm happy
So
to hear that. Thank you.
you're welcome. So Vibe Check does mark the first collaboration on an original song. What you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but why did you choose this song to be your first featured one?
Yeah, I think honestly it's as simple as it just felt right. I think it's kind of my first song into this new direction, I guess, that I'm taking. And historically I've written, heartbreak songs or sad songs about relationships and stuff, but I'm at a point in my life where I've been, I guess, relationship free and really happy and stuff. And this song kind of came out when we wrote it, and it just felt necessary and right to kind of mark this new chapter, new era.
No, I think that's good because I think it does kind of It does. It's like very kind of empowering. I think it's good. And then you also have another feature, like a female feature on it. And I think it's just
Yeah.
like, it's good. I
Yeah,
like it.
it felt right.
Yeah. So not only are you a singer, you're also a songwriter. How, and this is like more personal for me because I like learning about this. This is like my go-to
Mhm.
is how do your songs usually come about? Because there are different ways of writing. And so a lot of people they usually have a like melody first. Sometimes they come in with like a poem that they wrote or like a journal entry or something, like a concept. So how do your songs usually come about?
Yeah, so I mean, it's always kind of very different, as you mentioned, kind of all the different things. When I'm working with AJ in particular, we kind of have our groove, and he'll kind of make a little bit of a beat, and then we'll kind of just start getting melodies, and then words will kind of flow. But historically, like when I kind of just go to write by myself, if I sit at a piano or if I pick up a guitar, I feel like usually the melodies come first, and then I just have so many notes and jumbled things on my phone, whether it's like a color that inspired me, or a bit of a poem, or just rhymes, or if I'm feeling a certain emotion on a day, I'll just kind of journal that, and I'll kind of just go and revisit that and find inspiration within that. Or I mean, you can always look externally as well, and I think I'm realizing as I'm writing more, you don't have to be happy to write a happy song or sad to write a sad song. You can kind of put on a different hat and put yourself in any perspective. So I think it's a really exciting thing, because I used to think I had to be sad to write a really sad song, and it's like, no, you actually don't have to be. You can write about whatever you want.
And I like that because I think it's important because like you've grown. So although you've grown, you can still kind of go back to that time to where it's like, no, that was like kind of a really sad time for me. But
Yeah,
you're still able to write about it and connect with people who might be going through it right now.
exactly. Yeah. You
So
kind of bounce within, I guess, the present and the future. And it's a really cool, I guess, new mentality that I've adopted going into my new writing process for sure.
no, I like that. Yeah, I'm not a songwriter by any means. I just find it really fascinating because like I write, but I don't like music. I love music. I just can't do it.
Right.
So it just like always fascinates me the different processes because then you'll hear about some like songwriters who just like hear the wheels on a car like
For
hitting the
sure.
gravel and they're like, oh my God, that'd be a sick beat. And I'm
Right.
like, how do you hear this?
Yeah.
Like
Super crazy.
it's
Super.
like I love that. It's like my mind does not work like that at all. But it's
That's,
like
that's the beauty of it. Everyone's mind works so differently. And that's why we have so much different art floating around in this world.
oh, for sure, for sure. So since we talked to you back in 2020, you did release your self-titled album in 2021. What was the reaction like for you when you released it?
I mean, it was actually overwhelmingly positive, and it was just really amazing to release a full body of work. It's so fun to do singles and play around with different genres and stuff, but to really kind of pour your heart and soul into like a full length project and story is obviously like very vulnerable. So the fact that people really enjoyed it was really amazing for me, and I'm just really excited to share all this new music I'm working on currently as well. Because a year ago just feels so long. I feel like I've grown so much, like personally and as an artist. So that obviously is reflected in my music.
Definitely. I think the self-titled album, I think you aptly named it. Like it was very much you.
Yeah.
So I think it was good that you self-titled it, but I'm excited to kind of see what like your next album's gonna be like. So
Yeah.
is there anything like is Vibe Check gonna be on it? And is that kind of the vibe you're going for, or is it gonna be kind of different than what we expect?
I think it's definitely a good balance of obviously like vibe check and this new kind of sonic era I'm kind of going to, like sonically, what I've been exploring production wise, but also for people who like, bed sheets and my more ballad kind of OG stuff, there's definitely that on it as well. So for right now, I think we're just gonna pump out some singles, but then I'm really excited to hopefully share an EP in the fall.
That's super exciting. I can't wait for it. Like I'm
Can't wait
just
to
super
hear.
excited. So, um, since we haven't talked to you in so long, is there something other than like your album or any singles or anything that's kind of been like a standout moment for you personally in like the last 2 years?
Ooh, so interesting. I've definitely been spending more and more time in LA. And obviously, as cliche as a songwriter, singer, but I've just really grown to love it. And I'm hoping, to move there eventually one day. And I love Canada, and there's such an amazing music scene, but it's been really incredible to kind of just start exploring that whole scene. Because there's scenes all around the world, but I think LA is really cool because it's everyone comes from everywhere to collaborate. So it's this really kind of communal feeling. So yeah, I guess that's one kind of standout ongoing thing that's been going on.
No, I agree. As we talked about before, I love LA. I think LA is just a whole vibe, and I think Vibe Check would do well there.
Yeah, and the sunshine is just undeniable. It's so beautiful.
Oh, for sure. Like you have your like your city life and then you have the beach, like
Yeah,
right there.
I
So
know.
it's just like
Versatile, the best, the absolute best.
and LA sunsets are like top tier. Like I
Wow.
love them. Okay, so let's bring it back to vibe check. I guess like can you kind of tell us because it is a little bit different from your album
Sure.
or like from your previous music.
Mhm.
How what was your thought process behind changing your sound a little bit and kind of going in this like newer
Mhm.
sonically?
Yeah, I think it's something that actually happened very naturally, and even though it does sound, a little bit different, like I'm writing with the same person, and I'm the same artist, but at the same time, I think as I mentioned before, it's just been a year full of so much growth, like personally. So I think that was really reflected when I sat down to write. An agent, I hadn't seen each other in a while, so we hadn't written. So I think when we finally did sit down, this kind of magical thing just came out, and I think we just ran with it, and it felt very parallel to where I am in my life right now. So I guess, yeah, honestly, it was just very natural. And I've also just been listening to so much diverse music, and I have been, loving R&B, and I think Ariana Grande does that so well. She kind of adds that into her pop fusion. So if you could take Ed Sheeran and then mix it with some Ariana Grande production, I think that's kind of where I'm at songwriting and production wise.
No, I love that because I think it's like different but also you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's
Well,
just
I'm
like
glad you think that because I feel that. So I hope that
yeah.
be reflected and people feel that as well.
Yeah, because it's like when I was listening through like all of your music, like it wasn't something that was like totally out of like left field. Like you were like completely like you changed genres and I was like,
For sure.
whoa, what happened?
Yeah,
Like,
it's definitely just like a different color palette, maybe, and it's like
yeah.
it's still a shade of pink, but maybe it's a bit more neon pink than pastel. But it's like it still feels like it's in the same family.
Oh, for sure. And I think yeah, it's just like I think it's growth. I think it's like you said, it's very much you were a different person back in 2021. You've done a lot of
Sure.
growth now. And
Yeah.
so I think it just kind of it works.
And as
Because
I'm looking behind you, I see the plastic hearts, the vinyl, and
oh
it's
yeah.
like someone who did that super well is Miley Cyrus.
Oh
She had
yes.
more like Malibu, and then now she's going a bit more just like classic rock, and she's doing it
Mhm.
so well, and it does still embody her. So that's also really cool to see other people doing that as well.
No, I love that. I think because I think it's so good for artists to be able to branch out and
Yeah,
not just do the same thing over and over again. Some of it works for some people, but
sure.
me personally, as like a music fan, I love being able to see artists like grow and expand their genres and kind of genre bend a little bit and like play
100%.
with it and
Totally.
see what you come up with.
Exactly. No, I totally, totally couldn't agree more.
So, um kind of on those lines, it's kind of like a fun question. If you could choose like any other genre to sing, what would you choose?
Ooh, that's such an interesting question. I grew up on like folk music, or like a folk like Fleetwood Mac meets like Nora Jones. I think I'd love to just strip it all back and make some really cool acoustic, rootsy, kind of jazzy music.
No, I think that fit you pretty well too.
Thank you.
I mean, you could always do like one of those like one-off spin-offs, like this is like
Exactly.
this Olivia, but like in a different way.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I think I like the genre bending that a lot of artists are doing lately. I think it's fun. And I
I
like
think
to
too, it's
see,
like, especially in pop music, I think pop music, even from like 2016 to 2018, definitely had a sound, and it was like a little bit EDM based, and it was pure pop. But now, what is pop even? You have someone like Willow, or you have like Anne Marie. So it's like that there's, or Dua. It's like everyone's just making their own flavor of pop music, and it's cool to see. It doesn't just have to be one thing anymore, which is really inspiring as a creator as well, because it's like anything could technically be pop music.
oh, for sure. Like I think, yeah, that's why I like pop. I think, yeah, there are like eras of pop to where it's like,
Yeah,
like the Lady Gaga of like 2008,
sure.
that was pop.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
it's like that's not what the sound is today in 2022. Like I think it would do well now, but I don't think it would do as well as it did back then because it like hit a
Yeah.
certain market.
I still love that era. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I still listen to all of that music. Like
Yeah.
I'm very nostalgic. I love like the old, like right now I'm on a Miley Cyrus kick of like all her old stuff.
So good.
So
Love it.
like the Hannah Montana era and
Oh
like
my
when she
gosh. Like
first
Ron.
started,
Yes.
like the breakout album, like I'm
Like
just
Seven Things I Hate About You, for sure.
yes, I'm like I'm listening to this on repeat. I'm like, what is happening in my life?
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. So um I didn't look at this, but are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. Yeah.
Okay, so have you seen, because like back in the day, like we didn't really have TikTok, obviously. So the music scene was kind of a lot different, but I've seen so many artists like kind of pop off on TikTok. Have you seen a difference between you like using TikTok and not?
I think TikTok's definitely just been a really interesting, cool tool to reach more people. And obviously, you can see on Spotify, you have like X amount of listeners, and they're listening to your music. To actually be able to like reach those people and reach beyond them and interact with them is just really cool. And I've definitely experienced that on the app, which is crazy because I think you just have more opportunity for more people to hear your music, which we haven't really had that before. So it's crazy. And there's also just so much more art, so with that just means so much more inspiration. It's kind of just like this overstimulating, crazy little app, but it's a pretty cool thing. I think that's coming to our generation.
Oh, definitely. I found some of my favorite artists off of TikTok. I think it's an amazing tool. And then, then at the same time, I'm also like, guys, don't, if it doesn't pop off on TikTok, it's fine. Your music is still good. It's just like it
Yeah,
didn't hit the
I think
algorithm.
definitely for sure. They're definitely, if you put your value on, a number of likes or a number of views, that can definitely, you can kind of degrade yourself a little bit. So I think, I mean, I've tried to kind of just disassociate with that part and the engagement part. And, it's just a bonus. If even more people can view it on TikTok, that's great. But it doesn't, make or break my, I guess, self-worth if people like me online or not.
For sure. So if there was one song from your your whole discography that you could make into like a trending song, like
Yeah.
what song would you want and what would you want everyone to like do?
I think I would have to say vibe check, only because it's so culturally relevant right now, and I do see so many people captioning their photos like hashtag vibe check, stuff like that. So definitely that song, and the trend, probably just like a cool outfit. It's like vibe check, cool outfit, or just cool anything. Like you're on a trip, vibe check. It's just so versatile. So I think that would be really cool. So who knows? Maybe that'll happen one day. I gotta work on it. Gotta
You
start
know,
playing more with the sound.
yeah, so I think we're gonna have to make ourselves a TikTok and start doing that
Yeah,
and start blasting it. Yep, I think so. Yeah, I think that would be cool having just like, because it is a versatile song. Like you could do kind of anything. You could do like the trend of like your outfits of the week type thing, like
yeah,
my outfit of the day. Like here's the vibe check. And then like, oh no, like I'm in LA or I'm at the beach or I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
no, I think that's pretty cool. I think that'd be a good trend. We
Thanks.
gotta get that started.
I know. Kind of right after this, I'm like gonna run to post something.
Yeah. You're like, oh, what do I have filmed already? Like,
Straps.
yes, yes. So we're coming to the end of the interview. Is there anything other than Vibe Check? Because we're gonna send everyone there. Like we're gonna have all your links down below. Is there anything else you would want to plug for the Honey Pop viewers?
Um, yeah, follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, listen to my music, and just be kind. That's all.
Yay. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, we loved getting to talk to you and kind of, well, talking to you again, actually.
Yeah.
So it was nice catching up and seeing how your life is 2 years later.
So fun. Thanks for having me back. This is great.
And that was our interview with Olivia Lunny. She is amazing. We loved getting to chat with her about her new single, Vibe Check, featuring Bhad Bhabie. It's out now. We will have all of the links to her social media and the song below. We definitely highly recommend you go stream the song, buy it, add it to all of your playlists. And we cannot wait for the new music that she's releasing. It's so different from what she's released in the past, but it's also her. I don't, it's just, it's very much Olivia Lunny. So, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.